Shout out to Andre. He writes, great topic, Saint. As a young man pursuing polygyny, how do you go about letting your woman know your future goals? Should you be upfront with her from the start, or should you wait until she knows what type of man you are? Peace to the saints.
I don't believe in wasting time as a man. You should always be upfront and honest with what you're looking for. If you know that you are polygamous, say that day one. There's no reason to try and show her who you are, only to then tell her that you want poly or polygamy when she's expecting something else. My definition of game is a man's honesty, a man's ability to be able to ask for what he wants and not lie at all. And game a lot of times is mostly like, people look at it like charm, your ability to woo her. But I believe game is just simply telling her the truth. No gimmicks. You know what I mean? When I was dating, I told them I'm poly. Even if I met them online first, I tell them before we met up, I'm seeking a poly arrangement, a polygamous relationship. Are you into that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they're not even there at the dinner table unless they are.
And at that time, you were pursuing wives. Okay.
Wives, yeah.
And I just want to make a note, like there's a difference between a wife and a side piece and a one-hitter quitter. Like there's levels to this, right? Absolutely. And one thing I have in Boss University, and as well, I repeat this in the Book of Dark Truths, is that, there's like a pyramid. We call it pyramids of truth, which is to say that, one, you always have to tell yourself the truth. A lot of people fail at that. They're lying to themselves. And then number two, the truth is a valuable thing that has to be rationed out. Like I don't go out dealing with strangers and telling them all of my personal business.
Right.
So you need to know, well, what am I doing in this specific situation or context? What's my goal here? And as a man, everything needs to be goal aligned. So you're talking about when you're pursuing a woman to become a wife in your family, you need her to come in to being involved with you under accurate information.
Absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's completely reasonable. And that also gets at the fact that you're not about to change her. I've had women that they think they fell so deeply in love. They're like, you know what? Like I can do it. And then you give them a trial run. And then they're like, well, after thinking about it.
Right.
You never could do it. You lied to yourself.
Exactly.
And so I agree with you there that if you're looking for a woman to have your children, to be a wife, you need to let her know what it is. And one thing you guys will be shocked about is that when you stand on business, they respect business.
They sure do.
Yeah, they respect business. And some of them will say, you know what? Okay, well, let me think about it. Or because you're introducing something new. So you have to remember that part, right? Like you're not telling them something that they've done openly before. So you have to give a consideration for the fact that this is a new thing. And then secondly, someone might, let me think about this. She deals with you, come to understand the kind of honorable man that you are, and she starts asking questions to learn about this new thing. And then, you might have some action. And at the end of the day, if she says she's not with it, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing to get her out the way.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. No time of yours wasted. No pain endured on her. You told her straight up, and she could make a conscious decision whether she wanted to be involved in that or not. Just like you want a woman to be honest with you. So to me, that's the best policy. Keep it 100. Just always tell the truth, man.
What I appreciate as well, when you keep it a bean like that, and Shorty says, you're like, hey, I'm going to have another woman. And then she says, okay, well, I'm going to have other guys. Ma'am, it was nice to meet you.
Right, absolutely.
Ma'am, it was nice to meet you.
I ask. I say, listen, I want multiple wives. I'm polygamous. If you did something like this, would you want to have another man? Because if they say yeah, I'm not interested anymore. Because I don't want you to one day down the road come with this and then come with some fairness stuff. Yeah, because I know they'll do that. So I want to feel fair. I have this mindset where I want to feel morally right. I know that. So yeah, in order for me to feel fair, I have to have wives who don't want to do that. You see what I'm saying? So they don't want another man. They have no interest. Cool. But if they had said, yeah, if you got another woman, I want another man, I'd have been like, yeah, you good.
Now let me take it to another level. Let's see if we aligned here. And this is a tough one right here. Are your women heterosexual?
Yes.
They're strictly heterosexual.
Strictly heterosexual.
Not bisexual at all.
At all.
Okay.
At all.
Have you ever asked them, or do you have knowledge of if they've ever kissed another woman or had any dealings physically?
I most certainly asked them.
Okay.
And I wouldn't do it if they were lesbian or whatever, or bi or anything, whatever they like call it. Yeah. Right. I wouldn't have done it. I don't believe polygamy should be something that is a sexual thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like that.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of times when men think about it, that's what they're thinking. I'm gonna have two women. We're gonna be doing threesomes and stuff. I've never done a threesome in my entire life, man. I've had multiple women, but I've never done a threesome. You know what I mean? So when I do interviews on polygamy, people are often shocked when I say that, because now, because I have two wives, they now really, I think, see me kind of like I hate to say the word pervert, but they see me like I'm somebody who, man, I was in church most of my life. You see what I'm saying? I've had access to a lot of women, but I ain't freaky. I ain't freaky at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even very sexual. Like, I'm not having sex every day.
It's hard for them to comprehend that.
So when you're telling me it ain't about sex, they're thinking, well, y'all must be doing it all. No, we don't. It's not about that at all. I'm not a horny person. Like, I'm more mental than anything. You know what I mean? Like, I do believe that I look at sex like war. If you're gonna go in there, you better be about business. I ain't gonna get in the ring and not fight my best. So I don't believe in, having sex if you're not into it. If you don't want to do it, you shouldn't be, give each other your best every single time. You know what I mean? Because I know that a lot of times with us as men, we'll go over and above in the beginning, and as we get used to them, we kind of
you ain't lying.
You ain't lying.
Yeah. That man telling the truth.
Yeah, you got to clock in. You got to go in there and say it's time to. It don't take too long. It ain't too long. Go in there and do what you got to do, man. You know what I mean? So,
he said, you got a job to do, man. Show up, clock in, man.
Look, even when I went hard speaking against religion, trying to wake my black people up.
No, that's impossible.
I went hard for that, knowing that each day could be my last without the death threats, right? So if I'm gonna go in here,
he was living like Malcolm, huh?
Right? Yeah, feeling like it too.
He was at the window with the strap, huh?
Right, feeling like it too. So man. So if I'm gonna go in here and we're gonna do our thing, I'm gonna go in here with that same militant.
Yeah, it'd be like that,
right?
Yeah. I appreciate that we're really aligned. And again, shout out to the brother Kyle. I'm all about, I got a 3-sentence Bible: be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people. And I take extreme efforts to be around good people.
Yes, sir.
So it's a real pleasure to meet you. In fact, I had a yoga instructor that I have come in and teach a class, and my old lady who was arranging this, she says, oh, the yoga instructor says she needs to charge more money because you live stream. I said, but we told her we live stream it before we made the first deal. She says, yeah, well, she needs to charge a content fee to make sure everything's like. I said, oh, okay. So now, mind you, I already pay her a great rate, and there are very few people that have you come in to do private yoga. So you're not gonna be able to replace me,
right?
But it's just the greed. You come in and you see like, oh, he can pay more, and I can get more, and like maybe he's making a bunch of money on the live stream, which the live stream makes no money. It's just that I want to expose people to different things,
right?
And so I said, okay, fire her, hire someone else. I don't care what it costs. I'm willing to pay someone else 3 times more than I paid you just because you're a liar. And I don't want to be around people who are not good people because you can't trust them.
Right. You're absolutely right.
And that's an exhausting thing, dealing with people who are not good people. One of the things that we had mentioned, you said you've never been in a threesome. And you know what? I was in college, and I remember had a nice little thing. She tried to set me up for one. She tried to set me up for one. And I ended up just sitting at my desk and watching these 2 girls on the bed. I'm eating cashews. You heard me? They didn't try to set me up. I'm just eating cashews. I ain't even get in there. And there's just a certain level of morality that upright men have that people who don't have morality cannot comprehend. They cannot comprehend the idea that you have 2 perfectly good women and you're not trying to pop off a freak off. You're like, bring the baby oil. Like they can't comprehend that you could do it and you choose not to.
Absolutely.
And I want to let everyone know who's watching, if you do have a girl who says, yeah, I'll be in a polygynous relationship because I like girls too. I don't need another guy. I like girls. That is not what you want, because there's a triangle that exists in a polygynous relationship. Let's say it's like this, right? So you got the triangle like this. You're at the top as the man. The 2 women are coming up to you. They relate to one another as peers, and maybe in a friendly, familial way, but not in a romantic way. And so the moment you have the women relating to one another romantically and sexually, you are bringing evil, and you are putting in the seeds for the destruction and the destabilization of your relationship and the hierarchy therein. So don't ever deal in that. That is filthy, and that is not proper. I just want to make a strong statement against that, because I know a lot of people are confused on that. You need actual heterosexual women, which is increasingly hard to find. It's getting crazy out here.
And a woman who says that she'll do that because she has a desire for women too, she's really she's trying to satisfy her desires, and she's using a relationship as the conduit. You see, this is well, everybody's creating their relationships for whatever reason, but for me, it's about legacy, life, survival. So to me, a person just getting what you would call married or in a relationship like that just for sexual purposes is very immature. You're not thinking about life at all. And most of us create children not thinking about life at all. She's just sexy. She just had a fat ass. You see what I'm saying? Or this girl just thought he was fly.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And that'd be the whole reason.
The whole reason. I always say the person who you choose to have your child with is the most important decision you'll ever make, man. So when we're out here, encouraging our sons to just run crazy with it, we're setting them up for failure. I mean, I'm not a religious person anymore, but I still hold to a lot of the scriptures that I read growing up. And one of them that comes to mind is a farmer who just haphazardly throws his seed is a terrible farmer, right? You got that good ground, thorny ground, and you got stony ground, right?
Wow.
And so if you just out here throwing your seed in the air and it's just landing wherever it may, you're not really choosing your future selves wisely. You're not choosing who's going to raise them wisely. So for me personally, I look at my mother like she was probably perfect. I never got to meet her, right? But I'll always say, my next version of myself will have a good father because I'm in control of that.
Right.
But I'm going to make sure they have a damn good mother too.
Yes.
And so in that way, you are in control of the future. And you can choose who your future self's mother's going to be. And if the woman that's in front of you, if you know that's not her, move around. A lot of times we get short-sighted and be like, man, it'll feel good. I'm going to enjoy this moment. But those moments really destroy your life.
Wow.
Not a plug, but I also wrote a book called The Emotional Terrorizer.
Okay.
And it's about people who move solely off of emotion. They may have morals, but when they're tried, those morals go away. They deteriorate real quick.
Right.
And a person who has worked hard their whole life could have amassed a lot. They'll throw it away if you get them mad enough, right? If you get them angry enough. And it's not to say that you're a bad person, because we all could be an emotional terrorizer. We all could be possessed by anger and do things that destroy our life. But the book is about learning how to avoid people with the red flags that show you that they could be one, and how to heal from being one if you are one yourself. You see what I'm saying? And so I believe a lot of times, like emotional terrorism and anger, we move the same way with lust. You see what I'm saying? So this woman is not your standard. She doesn't have, she has no value. But you're thinking about how good she's gonna feel to you. And now you got a baby with this woman. Honestly, and your future self, that's their mother, yo. Like think about a night of passion now. It's crazy. And that's how we mess the world up. I'm serious. We ruin the world when we are living just in our emotions and feelings, living in the moment.
Wow. And I'm glad you said that, because that's one of those lessons that people know, but it bears repeating. It needs to be repeated. You need to, especially as a young man, you need to hear that over and over again.
You do.
Absolutely.